You are listening to a Cult Talk Network podcast.
Bakersfield? You already told us about Bakersfield.
I have?
Yeah, we've heard it.
Well, all right. And Davey stood up and yelled, "I'm half horse, half alligator, and a little attached with a snapping turtle." Heh. Folks always said Crockett was part critter, and that the critters were part Crockett.
No, I haven't the foggiest what it means. Let's say we inquire of this gentleman. You there, sir? This U.S. on the side of these ration barrels. What is the meaning?
U.S.? Fella, you ain't heard? That there the bounty of Uncle Sam. Set fit to keep the Continental boys full of grit. Ready to send them redcoats skipping like a good flat stone back to Britannia.
The apple trees what grow in these parts thanks to one man. I'm telling you, that cider you're drinking there probably came from him. A strange feller. Ate out of a tin pot what he also wore for a cap. Wandered barefoot all over, spreading apple seeds. So apple seeds what they called him. Johnny Appleseed. What? It's true. My sister's father-in-law's cousin's husband says he met him. Gave him a hot meal and a spot in the barn to stay the night when old Johnny was passing through.
Welcome back to another episode of Folklore. I'm Ben.
I'm Eric.
And I'm Jerry.
And today we're celebrating America's supremacy.
What?
That's right.
Damn it.
It's 4th of July.
USA! USA!
Today we explain again why we are, in fact, the best.
Well, I think what Ben is trying to say here is that it's
We're
America time.
Yeah.
And we have some America mythology in the form of tall tales to tell to you today.
And our mythology is better than your mythology.
I mean, America's pretty great.
Yeah. Listen, we've got listeners that are in foreign countries. Thank you all. I love you all. Your countries are not better than ours.
Wow.
They're not.
But we're not here to get geopolitical. We're here to get American.
Yeah. That means because we win.
I can't with you.
Whether it's our Mexican pants or our Canadian hat.
Oh my gosh. Jerry, I'm a citizen of the world.
I didn't know we had a commie on our team, but anyway,
help. That's not going to help one bit.
No.
It's in the spirit of Uncle Sam.
Yeah.
No, but you guys had a fantastic reaction to our American Tall Tales episode.
Yeah.
And so we actually were really looking forward to doing another one.
And so it all kind of, that worked out really well. It's like, not everything that we do on YouTube or podcast land lands so well, but we were really happy that one did because we were like, man, I can't wait for next year. There's so much other cool, like, tall tale stuff to get into.
And that was really a shot in the dark for us. We were like, this could be fun.
Yeah.
And it was.
It was fun.
It was. And this was fun too.
Yeah. I had a blast with this. I'm fascinated by my character. Can we tell them our characters?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So this time by serendipity, we all picked characters that are simultaneously American tall tales, but also real life historical figures.
Yeah.
We didn't set out to do that.
No.
But it kind of happened, and I'm telling you, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I think that part of it's really neat, like just being able to compare them to like, oh, this is what probably really happened, and this is what the story's turned into is like really fascinating to me. I love it.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. So I went with Davey Crockett this year. He is a frontiersman from the 1700s. Most famous for dying in the Alamo. I have known of Davey Crockett all of my life. He was featured in a movie, obviously called Davey Crockett, King of the Wild Frontier, with an actor by the name of Fess Parker. It's a Disney movie back before they turned to Satan, but it was fantastic, and it was filmed, I think, in like the late 1950s, 1958. I'm rubbing brain cells together. But anyway, my dad was also a really outdoorsy guy, so he obviously knew who Davey Crockett and Daniel Boone were and told me about them and stuff. And obviously, Davey Crockett and Daniel Boone met at the Alamo and died together, sort of. But so as soon as I went through, Ty got me a book of tall tales last year in celebration of this episode, and he was page 1, first one. I was like, Davey's considered to be a tall tale. I'm like, oh, then that's definitely who I'm picking.
Yep. And I remember you picking up that book. Like, Ty got this for me. I'm gonna pick my guy from this book, and it was like the first fucking thing.
I opened up the
table of the contents,
and I went up. I'm done. Ow. Just shut it. I said, Eric, I got mine.
Who you got, Jerry?
I got Uncle Sam, who I didn't really know a lot about, really. I'd seen the posters, and I was like, okay, he's some guy that personifies America. I didn't know that there was more to the story, really.
Yeah.
And there is.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, this is like the veteran uncle that has like all the cool stories when it's like Thanksgiving time, not the one that you like lock your door at night from.
Yeah, different.
Yeah.
What about you, Eric?
Jesus. I picked Johnny Appleseed. I remember kind of thinking last year, it's like, oh, I kind of wish I had done Johnny Appleseed, but I was pretty, locked in with Mr. John Henry. So, but this year I'm going for it. Johnny Appleseed, known for traveling around the untamed frontier and planting apple trees.
Which I love orchards. So
yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, definitely. That. Big thanks to Johnny Appleseed. And we'll probably find more to thank him for later on in the episode.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to kick things off with Mr. Crockett.
All right. Let's get crocking.
That didn't work.
I'm sorry.
You should be.
He shoots.
He misses.
And swing and a miss.
I liked it.
Thank you, Jerry.
You can like bad things. So, Davey was probably born on August 17th, 1786. Now, I say probably because while even by Davey's own account, it was August, it was 1786, obviously, it could have been August 16th or it could have been August 18th because he would tell the story of his birth and he would then qualify with, I don't remember if it was morning, noon, or night of that day. And you're like, well, shit. So, it could have been AM, PM, which then... So, August 17th, 1786... plus or minus 24 hours.
Yeah.
Give or take.
Yeah. Give or take a whole day. Why not?
But Davey came to this world by comet. There was a comet that on the morning, afternoon, evening, or night of August the 17th, 1786, struck through the sky at, I believe it was called Limestone, Tennessee, although at this time it was not part of Tennessee. It became part of Tennessee when he was a child. It struck the top of the mountain that was right near his folks' place, which caused it to go off kilter, and tumbling down the mountainside came little baby Davey.
Every year we have a Primark.
Yeah.
Here.
One thing to get quoted as to have. The person I'm quoting is Davey. Pretty much all of this shit comes from him.
A direct source.
Yeah. From the Primark's mouth. I love this guy. This guy's like, how you view Davey Crockett when it comes to like the lore aspect of him depends entirely upon your point of view. You can either look at him as this guy who just found a niche and found it hilarious to tell these tales that people loved, or a shyster that was trying to pull it over on people. I think, given his personality, which we'll cover, I think he just loved a good funny tale. So
wild.
So he came to Earth by comet, even though he had multiple brothers and sisters that he loved very much. He was quoted as saying that during the time of his childhood, he drank enough milk and ate enough buffalo that he was able to whip his weight in wildcats, which was extraordinary because he was 200 pounds at the time of being 6.
You know,
That's a big baby.
that is a big baby. It's
Primark
Primark baby.
Primark baby.
Primark baby. Primark baby.
It checks out.
It really
Checks out
does.
so far.
Yeah. Yep.
To further prove his skill, he killed his first bear when he was 3. The details to that are kind of lost to history.
That's convenient.
I myself, I believe he frowned it to death. And I have supporting evidence for this that we'll get to later.
Okay. All right. We're going to get a little scientific. Good.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say scientific, but it's more like deductive reasoning.
Deductive reasoning. There we go.
So there's 3 things about his physical appearance. 2 of them I understand. 1 I'm not so sure of. So he ran like a fox,
Okay.
swam like an eel,
Okay. Fast. Yeah.
and walked like an ox.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if he had hip dysplasia. I'm guessing it was his way of saying he was a really sturdy lad.
Like sturdy. Yeah. Okay.
Walked with
There you go.
purpose.
Walked with yeah.
Okay, when was the last time what does a purposeful looking ox look like?
Well, you can see it in their eyeball, but also in their gait.
Like they're probably charging at that point. If
okay,
they're
sure.
moving with purpose. I don't know.
Maybe he wore Oxford shoes.
Yeah.
Oxford.
No.
No? Oh.
You almost had him on board for that one, Jerry.
Yeah, almost. Kinda. Except
Well, then you had me almost believing it. Almost.
what's more likely? I believe that Davey Crockett was wearing Oxford loafers, or that for a minute you thought I wasn't being sarcastic.
Yeah, okay, fair point.
Okay.
Let us know what you think in the comments.
Obviously, with all of these physical traits, Davey was really hard to handle. And so his parents had to make a cradle out of a 600-pound turtle shell to keep him contained.
A 600-pound turtle.
Big turtle.
I want to meet a 600-pound turtle.
I don't.
You don't?
No, they're usually omnivores.
Oh.
So opportunistic omnivores.
Oh.
So if you're within mouth reach,
Okay.
that's
So what
I
you're
would-
saying is Atreyu from the Neverending Story should have been toast.
Right.
should have been,
Should have been.
according to
Okay.
biology.
Okay. It's a shame. I like turtles. I'm going to be one of those idiots that gets eaten by the animal because I want to pet it.
Well, they're kind of slow. So if you get behind it, you can
Just pet it.
sneak it in there.
Yeah.
So as Davey got older, he had trouble adjusting to society, you could say.
Okay.
He ditched school a lot, was often out in the woods playing with animals. One of the sayings that people like to say was he was part varmint and that the varmints were part Davey.
Oh, that's
pretty
kind of
cool.
sweet, though. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Huh.
but this caused serious conflicts at home. Davey recounted the last day that he went to school. He got into a fight with a boy, and obviously he had already killed a bear at this point.
Right.
So he whooped the shit out of this boy.
Yeah. That poor bully.
That.
Oh, I'm sure.
Can you imagine? Like, you're gonna walk up on this boy, and all of a sudden, like, he's spinning you in the air like a seal with a beach ball. Just like, what's happening? But Davey was afraid to tell his teachers and his dad what happened, and so he started just not going at all. And this led to a confrontation with his dad, who was actually paying money for Davey to attend school at this time.
Oh, I see.
And they were poor.
Right.
They were real poor. So, like, you know those kids in high school that their parents drive them to school and the car's really janky and they smell funny and their people skills are at best questionable? His family would have made that family look normal.
So they were
Like,
real destitute.
yeah, they owned a hotel that we were talking about this kind of backstage. The saying, good night, sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite, was actually invented because of boarding places like the Crockett's.
Wow.
So for his dad to like spend this money for him to go to school was a lot.
Yeah.
And then when he found out that Davey wasn't going, he picked up a 2-year-old oak switch and took off after Davey, which then led Davey to run away from home forever. Although not forever, he did end up going back and visiting.
Okay.
I was unable to confirm when this particular part happened, so I'm assuming it happened before he went back home when he was living on his own, learning to trap. So it was really cold out one day, and Davey happened upon this raccoon. He didn't have any weapons on him, I'm assuming, and the raccoon stopped and looked at him. And Davey, who was a friendly enough guy, actually, that was actually one of his real life, like, defining traits, was just how friendly and nice of a guy Davey Crockett was.
Okay, yeah.
He gave it a good old-fashioned grin.
Okay.
And he realized that the raccoon wasn't moving. And so he kept grinning. And then eventually the raccoon, out of whether it was discomfort or sheer friendliness, decided to throw up his hands and bequeath Davey his pelt. And then calmly walk away.
Naked.
Yep.
What?
As the day we're born.
Or night or morning or noon
or by comet.
Whatever. Or by So he smiled at a raccoon and got its fur.
Yeah.
And the raccoon was fine.
Yeah. And that's what led to him getting his signature raccoon skin cap.
Wow.
Now, he later used the Davey grin technique to kill a bear.
What?
Davey was famous for bear killing. There was one time where he estimated where he killed over about 126 bears in a single season. He was like a bear specialist.
Wow. So
he had perfected his grinning technique and it killed the bear. Now, this leads into the whole frowning thing, where I said he killed a bear at 3, and I think he did it by frowning.
Right.
I believe that if you were going to kill an animal with emotion, it would theoretically be much easier to do it with negative emotion, because negative emotion shows to increase blood pressure, stress, this sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so it'd be easier to kill an animal with negative emotion than it would be positive emotion. And
fair.
So if he's able to skin and then a raccoon and then later kill a bear with his grin, I can only assume that he was practicing this emotional lethality from the time he was a child. And so I'm going to have to say that the bear he killed at 3 was going to have to be from negative emotion. So I think he did it through frowning. And this is probably the earliest case of him killing with emotion.
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
You got to walk before you can run.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
So
yeah, he was pretty young at the time. I mean, you can't fault him for taking just getting the hang of it, to take the slightly easier route,
well,
frown at it to death.
I am not prepared to call killing an animal with a frown the easier route.
I mean, easier compared to the smiling.
Yeah,
according
okay,
to
that's
the theory.
fair. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
The smiling takes more skill.
Exactly. Yes. In this theory of yours, which, I mean, how else do you explain Davey Crockett's abilities here?
I'm not going to argue.
Yeah,
I would love to hear the raccoon's side of the story.
Yeah, I want to hear his
what
side
was
of it.
he thinking?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's interesting to speculate on. So he threw his hands up.
Right. Okay.
Which,
so surrender.
Well,
perhaps.
So it could be surrender
or
praise.
It could be praise.
I like praise. Could be frustration, because if he's sitting there just like, well, what the fuck?
Yeah. Throw your hands up. Yeah. Here it is. Okay. Because then he throws his...
It's entirely possible that this could be a lie, and that Davey pulled a knife on him.
Oh. Give me your fur.
Yeah.
Okay. Throw his hands up and, you got it, sir. Here you go. Okay. I mean, that'd be a little cheap of him, but I guess.
Yeah. Well,
you can't expect the whole world of the
raccoons are kind of dickish.
They are. You know what? Yeah, I'd pull a knife on a raccoon.
Little bandits.
Yeah, little bandits. Yeah.
So he used. So with these obviously pronounced woodsman skills that he had developed over time, he owned a few lackluster no-name businesses until he joined the local militia in 1813. And this was a response to what would be called the Creek Indian Wars. Now, this is obviously anything dealing with frontiersmen warring against Native Americans or Indians is kind of touchy as to what's what.
Sure.
I'm not going to get into the deep politics of it, although I am interested. But from a 30,000-foot overview, what it looks like from me is that the British, limey fucks, were giving money, resources, supplies to these Native Americans to make the frontiersmen's life kind of hell. And this resulted in them massacring a fort of 200 civilians, the Native Americans did.
Wow. Okay.
And so, that's going to have a reaction.
Right.
Whatever your point of view is, that's going to piss someone off. And so that led to what was called the Creek War, which was fought between, I believe he was general at the time, Andrew Jackson.
Okay.
And the Creek Native Americans. Davey joined the militia as a hunter, so he was primarily responsible for getting food for the army. He was also a scout, so he would ride ahead and do navigation. And he was also what's the name of a mediator between the natives and the soldiers.
Okay.
Because Davey actually, through what appeared to be almost his entire life, had a fantastic relationship with Native Americans.
Okay.
He did see combat, so he killed them for sure, but he avoided it where possible. And jumping ahead, he spent the majority of what would become a fairly decent political career really trying to make sure that the United States government adhered to all of the treaties and land promises that they gave the Native Americans. Obviously, he wasn't successful, but I mean, like, if you look at his speeches, he called Congress like some serious fucking names about it.
Wow. Because they weren't keeping
their
to
promises.
The treaties.
Yeah, their promises and their words. So he was a guy he prided himself on being able to take Davey Crockett at his word. If Davey said that that's the way it was, and that's the way it was going to be.
Huh.
And if he gave his word that something was going to happen and it didn't happen, the person that caused it not to happen was going to get whole hell from him.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So I can admire that. And I, for one, would...
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Prolifically enough to be able to feed an entire army.
Oh my gosh, you're right. That's how he gathered food for the army. He probably just rode through the woods with a smile on his face. Just dropping shit as he goes by. Yeah.
Just waited for them to come crossing the creek and jumped out of the bushes, smile, and just watch them fall over like fainting goats.
Jeez. Fainting goats. Yep.
He also... so he enlisted twice, because he would join up for a period of 90 days.
Okay.
And then he signed up twice for that. And then I believe it was in between this and the second war that he was involved in. He came home and his wife passed away, his wife, Polly. That was his first wife. I believe he was married 3 times, survived 2. And then obviously the third one was his final.
Right.
This caused him, plus the Andrew Jackson, who he was friends with at this time, I believe. I don't know that I'd call them friends. He knew him, respected him, listened to him clearly. Asked him to re-enlist a 3rd time to fight in the War of 1812. So he fought in that, although once again, he was primarily a scout. Him and his men saw very little combat. Very little doesn't mean none.
Right.
He was already kind of becoming a legend at that time. And so he ducked out of that war early. He found that hunting people didn't really have the same thrill to him that hunting animal. He's a nature guy.
Right.
And so he actually paid somebody to take his place.
No kidding.
Yeah. That was a thing you could do back then. If you enlisted into the military and you decided you wanted out, all you had to do was find somebody who was willing to join and you had to pay them your salary.
No kidding. Huh.
And so he did that and let that other guy serve out the rest of his time.
Wow. Okay.
He once again, so like he went through these weird periods where he just established multiple businesses and then would just kind of let them fail because I don't think he was honestly happy doing anything else other than being out in nature.
Right? I see.
So he didn't it just never stuck. And at this time he came across a man by the name of Bigfoot.
What?
A Bigfoot man.
I'm sorry.
Well, that was his nickname, Bigfoot.
Okay. Thought you were about to tell me that Davey Crockett met the Bigfoot.
No, otherwise Bigfoot wouldn't be alive now. I would have grinned him to death. Come on, don't be silly.
I know. Ridiculous of me.
So Bigfoot was a local bully and had basically bullied his way into office when he was out boasting, and Davey challenged him to a shooting contest because, that was one of the things that Bigfoot was out there bragging about, how no man could beat him in bar fights and shooting and all this stuff. So Davey, not liking to hear this man talk, challenged him to a shooting contest. Bigfoot fired 2 rounds, got the first one dead center of the bullseye. The second one was a 1/4 of an inch off the bullseye. Davey fired 2 shots and had no holes. Both shots had gone directly through the center hole of Bigfoot's original shot.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
So
yeah,
this caused Bigfoot to leave in shame and actually kind of jump-started Davey Crockett's political career.
Okay.
So,
okay.
So he got a reputation for taking down this bully,
right?
And then you bring on the fact that political officers or people seeking political office or to keep their political office would campaign by going out and doing these public speeches, standing on benches, standing on stumps, and just shouting your message for hours until you could gather a crowd, right?
Huh. Uh-huh.
Well, these guys were often very fancy and rich, pompous jerks. And Davey was a loudmouth, kind but loud
Right.
frontiersman who had taken down this bully. This led a lot of people to go, you know what? You'd be really good in political office. And Davey just said, yeah, sure, why not? Knew nothing. Not a thing.
But he was down.
Yeah.
He was
Didn't know.
ready.
He got into his first debate before he even realized that he couldn't accurately describe what the office was supposed to do.
I'll figure that out when I get in.
So what he started doing was telling all the people how he was like them and reminding them, like, you want me. I'm your guy. I can walk like an ox, run like a fox, swim like an eel. I'm also part snapping turtle, half bear, and half moose.
He's running a high charisma build.
Yeah.
Sure is, isn't he?
Absolutely.
Yeah. High up there.
And then what he would also do is let his other opponent talk long enough to be able to figure out what in the hell was going on and then figuring out how they weren't doing their job and then point it out to him.
Oh.
Because he's like, I live here. Oh, that's what you're supposed to be doing? Well, that's not happening. So
Night. Call him out, Davey. Call him out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
even though 5 seconds ago he had no fucking idea.
He's good on his feet.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm not like commissioner, county commissioner. Like he literally just went step until he found himself in Congress.
Oh
In
my
Congress.
God. Davey Crockett was in Congress?
Yeah.
I never knew that. I
Oh.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Was he a senator? Or
Yeah.
Senator Crockett. Holy crap.
Where he would walk in, rifle in his arms, buckskin, fur-lined cap.
Son of a bitch, really.
Didn't change. He might dress up a little bit, but by and large, he was noted as wearing the exact same clothes that he would wear every other time. He was loud. He would spit. He would cuss. He would give these long, like, speeches about how they were all not worth a damn.
Yeah. Go, Davey.
There might be some decorum rules now due to
Yeah.
his behavior.
Set because of, as a reaction to Senator Crockett. Oh my God.
Anytime they voted, as I mentioned earlier, anytime they voted to go back on any sort of deal that they made on the Native Americans, Davey not only opposed it, but he did so really loudly.
Good. Yeah.
Which
keep your word.
Which resulted in him picking a fight with now President Andrew Jackson.
Oh,
Whoa.
who's a character in and of himself.
Yes.
Yeah, Old Hickory.
Old Hickory,
Oh, no.
who wasn't known for his flexibility or liking of rule breaking.
No.
Wow.
So Jackson ended up torpedoing, through long and the short of it, he ended up torpedoing Davy Crockett's career.
Right.
But right before the election, Crockett said, I will serve the people of Tennessee loyally and faithfully as I have done so this entire time. And should they not elect me again, they can all go to hell and I will go to Texas. When he lost, his response was this: they can go to hell. And then he picked up his entire family and moved to Texas.
Bravo. Man of his freaking word. You know what? I believe everything he's ever said.
Actually,
Yeah.
I take that back. I am mistaken. He did not pack up his family. He took his best friend, who I believe's name was George E. Russell,
Okay.
and they went to Texas.
Well, that's even better, really. You know,
yeah.
bro trip.
He picked the family he chose.
Yeah. Yeah.
When
Family is the friends you make along the way.
when wandering through the Texas wilderness, which Davy and his friend actually became convinced that they were the only two people in the entire territory. They were so freaked out by the size of Texas.
Oh, okay.
When they ran into a man who told them that there was an American fort surrounded by Mexican soldiers.
Oh, shit.
And this immediately led Davy to pack up his shit and head to what would be known as the Alamo.
So it's really because of the voters of Tennessee that he was there. They killed him. They let him down. Tennessee, you bastards.
It's all the bears that didn't kill him.
They were all Mexican bears, and it's just a family getting even. Actually, isn't there a bear on the Mexican flag?
Oh, there's
Wait.
one on the
On
California
the California flag.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
There's not.
Okay.
It's the California flag. And as we all know, Mexico is infinitely better than California.
Wow, that is a
Cartels and all.
Yeah, I was going to say that from you.
San Francisco has an app that tells you how much human fecal matter on their streets. Get better, you fucking slobs.
Yeah,
Jesus.
That is a thing.
That's yeah.
Thank you to our San Francisco listeners.
Do we have one? Get out.
No,
not of us.
No.
Get out of San Francisco.
Oh, yeah.
Flee, you
run.
fool.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
No, we're good for you. That's bad. Any day now, whatever God from any religion is going to crack that fold and into the ocean, it goes where it belongs. Get out of there.
Woo.
So he joined the Alamo, and we all know what happened from then on. The final battle of the Alamo took about 45 minutes. Actually, no, 90 minutes. 45 minutes is something else. But we're past that. Time to move on. It's about 90 minutes from start to finish. That ain't long.
No.
Davey and his men were guarding the front palisades and held it the entire time. It was not breached. The direct opposite side ended up collapsing. The Mexican army rolled up and literally had to point blank range cannon open the doors.
Whoa.
Which led to the flooding. There are two versions of Crockett's death. One, he went out swinging. That's the image you'll see everywhere is him with his rifle. Pretty Betsy. No, not Pretty Betsy. So he had 3 famous rifles, and all 3 of them were named Betsy. There was Betsy, Old Betsy, and Pretty Betsy. And I'm pretty sure it was just regular Betsy that was with him in the Alamo. And if one of you pricks do one of the, actually it was this rifle, go fuck yourself. He named them all the same. I ain't keeping track of this shit.
Betsy, Old Betsy, and Pretty Betsy.
Yeah, so like, whatever. But either he died that way or he survived all the way till the end and was executed summarily. And the only real kind of account we have of this is there was a female survivor of the Alamo that was quoted as saying that she saw Davey Crockett's body near the ammo dump of the Alamo, his rifle broken, and his coonskin cap laying on the ground next to him. He had been bayoneted and sworded to death. Oof. So, rough way to go. But the rifle is where the notion of him swinging till the end comes from. It could have been that. Also, he was a famous person. People knew who he was, and also his rifles were famous. So it's entirely possible that they broke it as a symbol.
Did he have it bayoneted? Because that would...
No. So Davey was famous for running a Kentucky long rifle, which I don't believe it was a civilian rifle, didn't have bayonet lugs.
Okay.
My family owns an old Kentucky. We have my great grandfather's Kentucky long rifle, and they're about 5 foot long and about 10 pounds. And if you ever look at one, their buttstock is very curved. And they had a habit of, it's really long, so you would set it on the ground. Uh-huh. They had a habit of breaking the stock because of the weight. So most of them either had a metal plate implanted along the end of the buttstock to keep it from breaking, or they had it from the factory, which would make that thing a mighty good swinging club.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair. Freaking 10 pounds, geez.
So that was Davey. This guy's awesome.
Yeah, he's wild.
I left out a ton of shit, and I also tried to weave the legend in with what actually happened,
right?
Not trying to distinguish between the two. If we had a biographics channel where we just covered historical shit, I would absolutely redo him again with some of the more factual stuff. This guy was fucking cool.
Wow. Cult of history.
I was so happy that this was a character from my childhood that I had never fully looked into, and then I looked into him, and he just turned out to be a complete badass all the way around.
Yeah, like even better than you initially thought.
So this was fucking dope.
That's cool.
And if you have Disney Plus, you shouldn't. You should pirate it. Just kidding, YouTube. Just kidding. Just kidding. Piracy's illegal, and it also gets you a bunch of shit, a bunch of like porn style viruses, unless you have one of those. VPNs.
Yeah.
But if you get the chance, please at least check out there's Davey Crockett, King of the Wild Frontier, and then there's a sequel movie that's actually a prequel. It's called Davey Crockett and the River Pirates. Davey is played by Fess Parker. It's the 1950s, so it is an old movies, but they're fucking good. They're good. I love them. I have them on DVD. I have the hard copies because I was just like, nope, grabbing them because Disney's not going to produce that shit anymore because, again, they started worshiping the goat balls of Satan. Wow. So I grabbed them quickly.
Wow.
Yo, ho, yo.
The seas are nice. I hear the seas are nice this time of year. Because fuck that rat. Anyway, guys,
Senator Crockett would be proud.
Have any of you, what had you guys heard of Davey before now? And what is your opinion of him afterwards?
Well, I remember seeing that movie you were talking about, and that was my exposure to Davey Crockett. And
Yeah.
he's like a bamf. Like, that was just
Yeah. A badass motherfucker.
Yeah, a bamf.
Listen, I'm a nerd. Bamf is the sound that Nightcrawler makes when he teleports. Okay. Not quite, but okay. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, honestly, like, so I spent a lot of my childhood thinking that he was truly a tall tale. Like, I didn't know the historicity of him at all, like, enough to know, like, point a finger on a map and be like, yeah, he was born there or whatever. Like, and then so I kind of like learned that he was part of the Alamo. And so that was cool. I had no idea he was a senator. That was actually probably one of the most hard to believe things to me out of everything you talked about.
So I did a small part of his speech where I actually said, like, I'm half snapping turtle, half this. He gave that in Congress as part of like his angry speech.
Ooh, okay.
It was like, my name's Davey Crockett. You all know me. I'm part this, part that, and I'm mad.
Golly.
Guy was great.
Nuts. Just nuts. Like, okay. And this whole, like, he shot his bullets through the bullet hole of Bigfoot's shot. Like, how much you want to bet that was a nat 20 on a charisma roll? Like, he completely missed that fucking target and talked everyone into believing that he shot through the hole.
He didn't load a slug.
Yeah, he didn't even bother. Yeah.
I mean,
like, that one made me happy. I had that thought almost immediately where it's like, what if he just didn't even bother trying?
Again?
Yeah, I'll do it twice. Boom, clean through the hole again. Fuck you, Bigfoot.
you know,
That's
you know what it
almost
reminds
better.
me of? It reminds me of one of my all-time favorite movies is called Big Fish.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a good
I like
movie.
that one.
Oh, me too.
And it really, because it tackles a sensitive subject, like, can you lie, but in a good way? Is it
and
possible?
still be true
Yes.
to yourself?
Yes.
Or to, yeah.
And is it possible? And characters like the dad in Bigfoot, in Big Fish, and then this historical Mr. Crockett.
Yeah.
God love the storytellers, man. Like, they make life so much more interesting.
They do. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like,
It's good lies.
yeah, good lies. Like, I mean, they're the whole reason that we have this podcast, in my opinion. Like,
Yeah.
we're here for the storytellers and the stories that come out of it. You know,
And I don't-
they're very important.
I don't think Davey at all was saying any of this shit thinking that people legitimately thought he was telling the truth.
You don't look part snapping turtle.
Be like, my cousin's part snapping turtle, and I don't recognize any snapping turtle in your accent,
Is it
fella.
the tail? He's
Like, I think my opinion is what he enjoyed was he loved a good, funny story because some of this also came from other people, part of his own legend.
Yeah.
I think he liked that. And I also think he liked that it made him relatable to people. People instantly knew that he was full of shit, but in a way that they're like, oh no, this guy's trying to make life better.
Yeah. Like, he's trying to, like, create some laughter.
And
or,
wonder and fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so combine that. So so I did leave out an aspect of the Bigfoot story that might explain a lot of why this made people like lean him toward politics.
Okay.
He actually won a cow in that contest, gave it to a widow that he knew that lived nearby, that her and her family were struggling.
Oh.
He gave them this cow. And this was not his only case
Charitable
of
act.
of generosity in the neighborhood and people that knew him. So
Wow.
so obviously this plus his kind, good-natured just personality, he had good relationships with the Native Americans. So I'd bet vital parts of my anatomy that he probably negotiated several instances between the local settlers and the local Native Americans that would have erupted in two families fighting, but they didn't.
Right. Yeah.
I'm sure that happened.
Oh, yeah. I could see that. I could definitely see that.
He was known for he fought against the Creek Indians, and he was known for visiting them afterwards. He made friends with them and then would visit them afterwards.
Wow. Okay. Says a lot about his conduct during the war. Yeah.
Yeah. So this guy is a tall tale in two senses. He's a tall tale in that, he whipped his weight in wildcats, and he was born from a comet, and he was part snapping turtle, and one time he said that he was capable, that all those pockmarks in the moon were him taking target practice with old Betsy, right?
And watch out for that grin.
And yeah, he could grin and kill a bear, but he's a tall tale also in that his tale, the story of his life, sets a tall example for the rest of us to follow.
Well
He's
said.
He's a good example of a man of principle.
Yeah. Yeah.
American hero.
Truly.
At least from where I'm sitting as of this recording.
Right.
So this tickled me pink. I loved it.
Ah, wonderful. All right.
Who's next?
Cool. Me.
Nice.
Not a senator, but he was a pioneer nurseryman and a conservationist, and so much more.
Now, I know when you say nurseryman, you mean plants.
Yes, tree nurseries.
But I just get a picture of like this frontiers guy. It's got like a giant pack on his back of like 8 babies.
Just trucking along with
Gucci. Pike.
Like Krampus.
yes.
A basket of them.
Oh, God.
And of course, who we're really talking about is Johnny Appleseed, who I'm sure if you grew up in the United States, you knew about Johnny Appleseed for as long as you've known about Davey Crockett and Paul Bunyan. He was right, like you hear about him in school.
Yeah, so that leads me to question I don't know what our youngest viewer is.
Right. Probably 25.
Listen, 17
That's true.
17-year-olds like 40K, but like, let me know, do they still teach Johnny Appleseed
In the elementary school and stuff.
school stuff?
Yeah. Because that'd be great.
I wouldn't be surprised if they don't.
Oh, that'd be a shame. That would be a shame.
Yeah.
It would be, but
Yeah.
but it does seem like one of those things that would vanish because our school system sucks.
They've done a lot of restructuring their curriculum that's like standardized now.
That is true. Yeah. So maybe Johnny Appleseed got lost in the shuffle. I don't know. Let us know.
But not here.
Not here. We're keeping him, and we're about to talk about him. So, like, my early imagery of Johnny Appleseed is like this young, kind of skinny but fit guy going around with a pot on his head and a sack on a stick slung over his shoulder, or, you know, just a big old sack, and he's walking around barefoot. He's just scattering apple seeds throughout the wilderness and the frontier.
Yeah, only for some reason he was old.
He was an old man, and
With a
that's
beard.
more accurate. You know, he is actually more known for his beard. So I think I
okay.
saw like some Disney version, like he's in like
Yeah, there was a cartoon where he's
Yeah.
like very almost look Looney Tune-esque looking.
yes, and
Yes.
kind of young looking.
See, I'm remembering a book.
Yeah, and that would make more sense. And I have found that most of the imagery around him does depict the beard and stuff.
Yeah, I'm remembering a book.
Yeah. How did you picture Johnny Appleseed, Jerry?
I just remember him in that cartoon form. So
Yeah.
like he's got,
Okay.
like, the big eyes,
Pretty much,
and like
yeah.
a little nose sticking out from under his pot hat.
Yeah.
But the pot hat stayed.
Yes, it did. And turns out that was one of the traits that were true.
He wore a pot on his head?
They refer to it as a tin utensil. So it was probably more like a bowl that he would eat out of, but also carry on his head.
I see.
Right. But it was metallic. It was made of metal, of course, probably. And,
Whew, that'd be hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. His appearance, we'll start there, because his appearance I thought would be more on the myth side of things, but it was pretty accurate. He would just wear whatever. It was often like old clothes or tattered rags,
like
or a
overalls.
burlap sack. Yeah, that he just cut holes in. And of course, you know, he'd often wear the tin hat, and he would go around barefoot, and he did a lot of walking. He did it barefoot for the most part. Occasionally he'd come across shoes, and we'll get into how he came across these different things, but sometimes he'd, you know, craft sandals or something if he was walking like in the winter, or I don't know.
Oh, well, thank God.
you know.
Yeah.
Thank God for sandals in the winter.
But yeah, he had some tough feet. He could actually
Bastard.
walk on hot coals or stick pins into the soles of his feet without, the pain of it. He
Yeah,
would
I
do that
believe-
to entertain people.
I
like a
believe
hobbit.
that.
Yeah, like a hobbit. You know what? The more we'll see. He's more and more like a hobbit the more we get into him, I think.
Ooh.
Yeah, I like him.
I saw this, not completely unrelated, but I saw this thing where this self-help class sent like 8 people to the hospital with like 2nd-degree burns on their feet from the walking.
Oh, no.
Why would you do that?
Oh, that's...
They're like, you can do. I was like, you have to know that has to do with the, the pressure, but also the calluses on your feet.
Yeah. You
And
gotta build them up.
I'm sorry, if you're in a self-help class, I'm betting one of the last thing you have is calluses.
Right. Walk can do you a lot of good for your mental health.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That's what I'll say. So yeah, basically, and he had a, scraggly beard, long hair. A lot of the times he's described as having long, dark hair, black eyes, kind of had a gleam to him, but
Black eyes.
well, yeah, I guess so. I guess that was the only color I found for his eyes was perhaps, they were black pupils or maybe dark colored. I don't know. Yeah.
Like apple seeds.
Like apple seeds. That was my thought too. And
Or demon,
Or
could have been a happy demon. We don't know. It
So-
happens.
It's a weird hippie demon.
Yeah. So, but the point is, this guy, he did, in fact, look like a vagabond. And he would often sleep out in the woods, or he would often sleep on people's floors as a guest. He would come in, tell stories, and he was also a missionary. We'll get into that. I did not know about this side of things. So, he'd kind of spread the good word or tell stories to entertain the kids and spend the night on the floor and have a meal and continue his travels.
What an interesting life.
Yes. And it gets a little more interesting because he really didn't ever have a settled down home.
No family, no.
Well, he did have family. He actually had a bunch of siblings. His mom died of tuberculosis when he was young.
Pretty common.
Yeah.
I actually think that was the thing that killed Polly, Crockett's wife. First wife.
Okay. Yeah.
I believe it was tuberculosis. I just saw fever, but that usually means tuberculosis.
Yeah. Yeah. And his dad remarried and had 10 more kids. So 10 more kids on top
20?
of this. I mean, I don't know how many siblings he had with his first wife, but yeah, he had a lot of them.
God.
yeah.
It was firing like a fucking Gatling gun.
The mortality rate was a little high. So you'd be like, we got to make some extra.
Can you but can you imagine like all 10 of them lived?
It's like, oh, we did not anticipate this.
We're so blessed.
Fuck.
We are out of corn. Send help.
By number 7, I bet his wife was just like, achoo, wah, wah.
But no, once he left and began his travels, he never really did settle into a house of his own. I guess more towards the end of his life, he was staying more and more with family in Cleveland, Ohio.
Cool.
Yeah, at least that's what seemed
Way
to
to
be
go,
indicated.
Cleveland. You had to be worth something.
Yeah.
You get this one thing.
Yeah. They weren't a city back then either. I think it was a smaller
And they aren't a city now.
So why on earth did Johnny Appleseed live this sort of life? His father encouraged him at an early age, like to get into, I don't know if becoming an orchardist is the right, to get into growing orchards and stuff like that.
I mean, yeah, we have
Arborist?
Perhaps, but it was more orchard specific.
Okay.
And back then that was, we have a family orchard pretty famous here in our town.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yes,
So,
we do. Hirsch's.
Hirsch's.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to say Hershey's.
I wanted to say hers.
Hers.
Yeah.
That's the
Grow
potato
chocolate
chip.
trees.
Yeah. Chocolate trees.
But no.
Ooh.
Hirsch's Family Fruit Farm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's fucking cool. I love apple orchards. They're so good. So
Mhm.
cool.
Me too. And that's a great farm to visit. We'll have to go in the fall there again. Yeah.
They have an open house. I can't wait.
Ooh, nice. So, okay. He had some encouragement from his father. He kind of planted the seed, if you will.
Oh my God.
Dun, dun, dun.
And on top of that, he was born in 1774, by the way. I didn't mention that. In Leominster province of Massachusetts Bay. So, and that was, of course, at the time, British America. But there was a lot of encouragement to get into the frontier. They wanted to,
He's 10 years older than Davey about.
Oh, is that right? Man, they were all in that same time period. That's so cool.
Well, so to quickly explain that, I believe, and again, I'm rubbing brain cells together, but I believe that was America's manifest destiny period.
Yes. Okay. That was the term I was trying. I couldn't think of it, but that is, I believe you're right. Manifest
Which is
destiny.
what gave birth to all these fucking stallions.
Right. Yeah. No kidding.
Now we have lactose intolerant and people with allergies.
My allergies are quite bad this year.
I listen. It's been rough. Only one of us has had to apologize for their allergies this year.
So
it
far.
wasn't you. Mouth breathing all through the Helldivers episode.
Oh, God.
Which I didn't think it was that bad. I don't know. Let us know, guys.
Oh, or don't.
Or don't.
I
Yeah,
already
maybe not.
apologized for it.
Yeah, it's been acknowledged. We'll fix it. So, of course, at the time, there was a lot of, like I said, encouragement to get out there. And so there were incentives to plant orchards out in the frontier. Often you could just, if you planted an orchard there, you could just have that land. Like you show up there, you establish the orchard, and
That
it would just be yours.
bastard. He's like the biggest United States land baron ever.
He just went around and a lot of that land he became his solely by virtue of him he established nurseries, actually. So it wasn't orchards.
Orchards, right.
It was nurseries. He would plant these nurseries, especially early on. He would gather seeds from cider mills. This is how he started off. He gathered seeds from cider mills along the Potomac River. Potomac, yeah. And he would pick it out of their leavings. It's a term called Eric can't read his own handwriting, but it was basically like all the mush of seeds and stems and skins.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so he'd go through it and just pick out the seeds, and he'd collect sacks of them, and then he'd head out into the territory. The first place that he established a nursery, I've got that here.
Sacks
somewhere.
of them. How many hours do you think it would take him to go through all that?
In like what's got to be stinky, fermenting, like fruit leavings. Yeah, that's got to be. Yeah, this man was not afraid of hard work.
Flies, bees.
Yeah, it had to be really uncomfortable to collect all those seeds. Yeah, because that's how he started.
Although you could eat that as well if it wasn't old.
Well, it was mostly like stems and skims, so they were like pressing all the good stuff out to get like oils and juices.
Yeah, but that mushy
You'd
stuff.
still get the pulp. Yeah,
you could eat the pulp.
You're right. You still could. Let me find.
Wild. I just picture him just in that pile of stuff, just going through all this because you're sacks of seeds, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he'd probably get pretty good at it, like, but it's still like
that's still a really messy job to try to pull off.
Good for him.
He established his first nursery in, my handwriting. It's Broken Creek in Pennsylvania. So that was the very first nursery he established.
Is it still there, I wonder?
I don't know. Somehow I doubt it. But it's possible. Yeah, that's worth looking into. We do know where the last living tree that was planted by him is. And that's, I'll drop that now. It is in Nova, Ohio. So it's the last living tree. Yeah.
We'll have to go check it out.
Yeah, I thought so too. That'd be a really cool thing to do.
The last living one.
The last living tree that was planted by him. Yeah.
Okay, so that's different.
But they've like propagated trees from it. I think there's like a Johnny Appleseed like strain of apples now. So he started it out in Broken Creek, Pennsylvania. Over the course of his life, he ranged like through Pennsylvania. He established nurseries in Pennsylvania, Ohio, and some of the northern counties of West Virginia. So he was establishing a lot of, like, he didn't always like accrue the land from the nursery. Sometimes he actually did buy land and then establish nurseries there because he spent no money. He spent no money.
Yeah.
He often like would stay with people and just be friendly, tell stories, hang out, have a meal, sleep on their floor, or live off of the land. And what he would do with these nurseries is he would like leave someone that lived nearby, like a neighbor or something. He'd leave them there to sell the trees out in exchange for keeping a share of what was made. And then he'd just come around every year or two and tend to the nursery, like, tend to the trees and fix up the fences. Like he always established fencing around them. He tried to do it out of like natural materials, like fallen trees and rocks and stuff like that.
Goddamn, he was like a traveling gardener.
He was
That's
a traveling
cool.
gardener, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Jerry, take note. This is your new business model.
oh, I could see you living this guy's life and being relatively happy.
He was like guerrilla gardening before it was guerrilla gardening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Exactly. And it was like highly encouraged. Like to look at this guy, he looked like a homeless dude, but he was probably really wealthy. Like at the end of the day.
Yeah,
like
but he just didn't need
he
it
just
'cause
didn't
he kept all his costs low and
exactly. Yeah. And he'd just go around and he just kept establishing these nurseries and spreading the good word. So he was a missionary it was a religion known as the New Church, also known as the New Church of Jerusalem, or it could be the Church of New Jerusalem. And it's based on this religion was established by a guy named Emanuel Swedenborg. And the religion more or less preached like, keep it simple, live simply, do good, like it's one of I think it's reclamationist Christian movements, which is like, we've gotten too far from the source material. Let's try to get back to how early Christians were living or how they believed
like
that
live
early
like
Christians
Jesus
were.
lived. Which
Right.
is simple.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Johnny Appleseed also believed that he could converse directly with angels, just like the founder of this religion believed he could do as well. So he often talked to angels and was promised. He was unmarried and probably celibate his entire life because he believed that unless he found someone that was pure enough for him in this life, he could just be married in heaven when he made it to heaven. So that was fine with him, just waiting.
I don't find that to be any more ridiculous than 72 virgins.
I know.
Just saying.
Right. But
if we're measuring the terms of ridiculous, he's asking for just one.
Yeah.
It's like, surely I can get one.
Yeah, if these fuckers over here are getting 72, I think I'm okay with one.
So I suspect much of his travel, while it was centered around establishing these nurseries and thereby orchards, I'm sure, for the settlers, it was also probably heavily motivated by his missionary goals, because he would go around and he had books, of this church that he would, give out to people and stuff like that. So, yeah. No, and it seemed to be like a pretty big part of his life. And it's just really interesting that that's often left out of the legacy is his missionary work there. I mean, yeah, you roll your eyes because it is no surprise, really.
No, it is not.
But I was surprised to find it because of how well it's avoided, it seems. But yeah, I don't know. He was certainly eccentric in his way of living and seen as eccentric for his spiritual beliefs at the time, too. But seems to be very well liked. He was very well thought of at the time. During his lifetime, he was known for his generosity and his kindness.
So there is a type of craziness which is just fine.
Yeah, right. I'll take that kind of crazy any day.
My favorite show of all time is MASH, and my favorite character from MASH is Colonel Sherman T. Potter, played by Harry Morgan, who is a very famous old Western and actor. And there's a quote from him that says, if I had a stallion that had an injury that made him think he was Man of War, which is a very famous racehorse, he goes, I don't think I'd correct him. Where it's if the crazy is the type of crazy that makes you a better person, then let him be crazy.
Right. Yeah. What's the harm in it?
If he even is crazy,
right?
What the fuck do I know?
Yeah.
For all I know, he's got Gabriel over there going it's fine, John. You're
Plant them apples.
Plant them right there. Yeah. And he was apparently really good at predicting where the settlers would kind of go, because he was kind of trying to get out ahead of the other pioneers and stuff and get these established so that when they needed them, they were there. And apparently he was so it could have been angels guiding them all along the way. Yeah. That's pretty neat.
Destiny.
Manifest destiny.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah.
Because you know what? I mean, that's funny because he might have been like the angel to them. Because how many times do you think a settler might have?
Oh, yeah.
Almost
and just yeah. Thank goodness. Thank God. Yeah.
Well, that's convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because orchards were pretty vital to the establishment of the frontier and getting not only could you, of course, eat apples, but cider was extremely important back then. It was, obviously it was an alcoholic beverage, so it was enjoyed, but it was also quite necessary because oftentimes alcoholic beverages were the only safe thing to drink.
Yeah, potable water was in short supply.
Exactly. Yeah, it was hard to come by. And so you'd have to rely on something like beer or cider.
Also, if you're doing hard labor and stuff and your body's used to it,
right?
The cider has lots of sugar and water in it. Now, if you're not used to it, it'll give you stomach cramps beyond all goddamn belief. And then you'll shit your pants as you're wishing you were dead.
Right. But if you have a tolerance for it built up, then there's a lot of good nutrients in there that'll keep you going. You're right. Okay. Not to mention also vinegar, which was vital in cleanliness and preservatives and stuff like that. So it was a really important.
And good for fertilizer with crops, the apples that they would drop off.
Yeah.
It would also be a good place for hunting because the deer would naturally go there.
Right. Which is what the fences were hopefully meant to avoid.
But only up to a certain size. Exactly. And then after that, you don't have to worry about it and then take the fences down.
Yeah. And then, they could grab those fallen apples and stuff.
A white-tailed deer can jump 9 feet in the air.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah. That's high. Yeah. Good Lord. So, it was pretty important. He was pretty instrumental in the expansion west there for those reasons. He did. And of course, at this same time, we're pushing back Native Americans further and further west. But he kind of seemed to keep a good reputation with them. Apparently, often they saw him as touched by like the Great Spirit.
Well, yeah, because he's going around planting and spreading the earth and trees. And,
right, and living in a very like nomadic spiritual way.
And not to mention, I'm sure, the settlers liked apples. I'm sure the Native Americans were like, yeah, no shit, they're really good.
Yeah. So
yeah, I could. So there's another trait with Crockett: good relationship with the natives.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So, and he spoke some of their languages and stuff. We'll get into the apples a little bit because why not?
Yeah.
So he is Johnny Appleseed specifically, even though for the most part in human history, we have not used apple seeds to propagate apples. We have used a technique called grafting.
Yes.
Jerry, if at any point, help me out. You're a plant guy, so you can help me out here while we talk about this, if perhaps I need it. But grafting is a way of propagating plants where my grandpa used to do this a lot too. And actually, would you mind explain? You may be able to explain it a little better than I can.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You take like a slice of a branch off of a existing tree that's already grown.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you cut another notch into an already existing tree that is similar in like genetic material. So like if you take and put it with something in that tree's family,
right,
you can connect that and then
they'll all
seal it.
Yeah.
And then that tree branch will grow as part of that tree that you've put it on. So with that, you can take like a very specific apple breed and spread it to other trees.
Yes. So, yes. And so that is, for the most part, what we do. That is not what Johnny Appleseed did. He was against grafting kind of on a moral grounds. He didn't like, I guess he assumed it harmed the tree or was kind of
he didn't
against God in
it's
some
cloning.
way. Yeah, it is cloning.
I would say he probably saw it as altering God's work.
Right. So for any of the reasons above, it seems to make sense to me too. Yeah.
I got a touch of that. I can pick up what he's putting down.
Yeah. So he was a big advocate for the seeds. Now, what that does, there is a reason why we primarily graft apple trees instead of going by the seeds. I did a little bit of here's one of my deep dives that I went into that I wasn't expecting. Johnny Appleseed seeds probably sucked. His apples probably tasted very bitter and were perhaps kind of ugly. And the reason that we graft apples is apples are very resistant to self-pollination. So if you have an apple and you're like, this has it tastes really good. It looks good. I want to plant this so I can have more of these. You're going to end up with apples that are completely different because it will hold off on being pollinated by anything that is too closely related to itself. It has to be very different. So the apple's going to end up with very different traits than its parent apples. And so established apples that we have today, the Golden Delicious and stuff like that, those are all like probably the same tree just being cloned over and over and over and over again for like years and years and years. So is that correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have it backwards. It's like his are what apples are supposed to be.
And you're right. And his work probably did help save genetic diversity in apples. At least to the extent that we have it still. So It could have been a lot less diverse and much more like, and then once you lose diversity in genetics, you have all sorts of problems.
Yeah, you need that diversity to help resist against disease and bugs and pests.
Right.
And with the diversity, you have more of a chance of having a trait that keeps those things away.
Right. So it was actually probably very genetically important, him doing that. And at the same time, just because they were bitter to eat didn't mean that they wouldn't make a great fucking cider.
Oh, yeah.
Or a good vinegar or something like
pie.
that. Or a pie. Yep. So his apples still found a lot of good use. Like nurseries were valuable. Apple trees
and
of any sort were valuable.
If you're hungry, you're going to eat that fucking apple.
Damn right.
Bitter or not.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's a lot. One historian believed that Johnny Appleseed was probably the Dionysus of the American frontier because of all these cider that he allowed to propagate and stuff like that. But
That's
I
cool.
think I know.
Cool. Can you imagine like 1,000 years from now, he has kind of that role, like a new civilization finds the legend of Johnny Appleseed, and he becomes like this North American Dionysus figure.
I love that idea.
God.
Yes, I love that idea so much.
That'd be fucking hilarious.
That's so good.
I mean, he might find it appalling against his religion.
Perhaps so.
I love when fate has a touch of irony to it.
Yeah. I probably don't have too much more here, but okay. The man lived to be, I think it was 70 or 71.
It's better than Crockett. He died at 50.
I know. Oh, wow. That was actually older than I thought, to be honest.
He
So
was a
good on him.
senator for a while.
Right. Yeah. Senator Crockett. Yep.
Although he was old for being fighting in a war, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is pretty old to
But
be.
he's probably, in decent shape.
Oh, he was cited as being in like amazing shape.
Yeah.
He was like 200 pounds at 6. That's all muscle.
Yeah.
Eating so much beer and drinking so much milk. Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, when he did pass away, it was in Fort Wayne, Indiana in 1845. He probably died of pneumonia after going out to repair a nursery fence in the winter. I think at the fucking age of 70,
Yeah,
went out to repair a fence. And when he died, he had, so remember all those nurseries. He had about 1,200 acres worth of nurseries that he could leave to his sister after his death, as well as I think there was even more than that in various states. I just didn't write them out. He was hit. There was like an economic crisis, like panic near the end of his life. I think it was 37. So not quite a decade before he passed. And that kind of knocked some of the value out of it. Like the apple trees weren't quite selling for as much. And a lot of the land that he had probably owned and or purchased was probably just lost because he didn't really keep the books. It was probably just like, meh, I don't know.
And then his sister died.
Yeah.
Disappointment and heartache a year later after she'd reached the end of his books.
Yeah.
This belongs to the county now.
Oh, yay.
One thing I did kind of leave out was something else he's well known for is his kindness to animals. So I'll run through that real quick because, again, conservationist, environmentalist, quite kind to animals. Trait. It really is. He would often, I guess, buy mistreated or sick animals like horses and dogs and then rehome them. There is a story in particular of him purchasing a sick horse that was just going to be put down by its owner. Then he bought a plot of land for the horse to just be on and recover from. And once the horse was healthy, he gave it to someone in need, so long as they promised to treat it humanely.
Well, damn.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. There is a story that may or may not be more on the legendary side where he found a trapped wolf and he healed its leg. And then for the rest of its life, it followed him around in his travels as a companion.
I believe it.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
If Davey can grin down that bear, he can befriend a wolf.
Yeah. Speaking of bears, there's another story where he had set up a fire in a hollow log and then noticed that there was a mama bear and her cub kind of in the same area. So it was wintertime and he moved his fire out into the open winter so as not to disturb the bears. Apparently out of kindness, although that one may have been out of like, shit.
I'm going to die.
I should move. But he wanted to give them their space, apparently.
I would want to give them their space as well.
Oh, yes.
I agree, Johnny.
Yeah, right.
Smart move, man.
And later in life, he became a vegetarian because of moral reasons.
Never mind. Complete pansy.
Which was a pretty eccentric trait at the time, too. Most people couldn't, afford to live as vegetarians. They had to, eat meat, too, along with whatever else they could get their hands on.
Johnny Appleseed alien confirmed.
And apparently, one night he was camping out and he noticed that mosquitoes were flying into his fire. So he filled his tin hat up with water and put the fire out because God forbid that something be suffering that sort of death for his comfort. So he decided
now
to
he's just
sleep
an
in the
idiot.
cold.
You kill those things aggressively.
I know. It's like mosquitoes he didn't know. Johnny didn't know. He didn't know what they would become or what they already were. We just didn't know it.
I was listening to a thing that says that we actually are working on a way to wipe out the mosquito.
Oh, wow.
On a species level. The only problem we have is we're not exactly sure what that will mean for frogs and
all the things that eat them.
Dragonflies eat a lot of mosquitoes.
Yeah. And bats do.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Cascading effect.
Yeah, right. Which makes sense. You take something out of the food chain, just remove a block from the food chain.
But at the same time, they are the most deadliest animal on the planet.
They do. They kill more things than anything else does. Yep.
Maybe we deserve it.
Fuck them.
Maybe we deserve mosquitoes.
Fuck no.
So, yeah, I think that's about it. Just to fill in a blank here, how much were those trees worth? Johnny typically sold his trees from his nurseries for a 5 penny bit. which is the equivalent of 6 cents, 6.25 cents. Fip penny bit.
A fip penny bit.
Fip penny bit. So there's a new word for us all. So there we go. The great Johnny Appleseed, a legend in his own time.
That was cool.
Yeah. So that was really neat. All sorts of rabbit holes to chase down there. That was cool.
Yeah, that was neat.
Yeah.
I really like that character. He's fun.
Yeah. And I neglected to mention his real name real quick. By the way, he was born Jonathan Chapman and wasn't known as Johnny Appleseed until later in life. There are writings, or people writing about him.
But he was known in that in his own time.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, widely known. Yeah.
I bet that pleased him.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. And I hope him and his heavenly wife are doing well.
He seems like he earned his legend.
Definitely. I agree with that.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Jerry!
And we've got one more figure from Tall Tale Folklore.
American mythology.
American mythology.
The more superior mythology. Don't listen to them Greek pussies.
So Uncle Sam. Have you guys seen any of those the personifications of countries?
Yeah.
Where it's a lot of times it's like a woman. She has like a sword and a shield and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So those, I went down a rabbit hole of just looking at those for a while.
Jerry got lost.
Those were so cool.
Okay.
You've heard of Britannia? She's the one from,
Yes.
Right.
Britain.
Yeah. Britannia of Britain.
These personifications are they're just cool.
Oh, yeah. They kind of go back to like the Roman gods and the Greek gods.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's what they remind me of.
A lot of them are descended from Minerva in Libertas, which was the Roman goddess of wisdom and liberty.
Okay. The equivalent of Athena, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
And I knew that she was the goddess of wisdom, but I didn't know she was the goddess of liberty.
No, I don't think I knew that either.
Well,
okay.
we don't really draw a direct line in our brains from Roman to liberty.
Right.
Yeah. Well, a part of that is a lot of the time she's wearing like a Phrygian cap, which was given to slaves who were freed in Rome.
Oh, okay.
It was like a pointy hat that had like a little flop on the top.
Oh, okay. Like a gnome.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Oh, that sucks. I mean, I have to wear this stupid hat or I'll sign a slave?
Well, it was like a symbol of the liberty because they gave it to them.
Oh, okay. They made it a celebrated thing.
Yeah.
Earned your cap.
Let's start with the 16th century when colonizers are going over to the United States.
Yeah, we're going way back.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So the first one of these personifications that they gave the United States was the Indian Queen.
The Indian Queen.
You guys ever heard of that?
No.
So she was like this nude, voluptuous Native American.
Okay.
Yeah. And she would like ride on a giant armadillo.
Oh, I can't wait to see that picture.
Where's that movie?
Yeah. She's like wielding a tomahawk and just looking very like sort of savage, but like unusual. And like, so this is what they personified the United States as.
Interesting.
And eventually they softened it a little bit and made it the Indian princess. And,
right.
Which eventually evolved into Columbia.
Okay.
You guys.
Columbia. Isn't that the logo of, is it Columbia Pictures?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And she was named after Christopher Columbus.
Columbia.
The Americas
Woof.
after the Vikings.
Gotcha. Okay.
Well, yeah, listen.
And she had like a shield of the United States and like a sword.
Okay.
A lot of times she had like a laurel wreath. And sometimes she'd have like a bust of George Washington. Or a bald eagle in her,
nice
images.
Yeah. Very American.
And yeah, she was chosen in 1924 to be the symbol of Columbia Pictures.
Okay.
Which kind of led to her downfall as like a popular American personification.
Oh, she sold out.
And then it was sort of taken over by Lady Liberty as the female version of American personification.
That makes sense. I never thought of her as that kind of personification before. Yeah. Oh, neat. Okay.
Oh, he wasn't kidding. She full titty out and everything.
Yeah. Like, we're going to have to blur it maybe.
Oh, fine.
Nah, it's old enough. We can get away with it. Look at that. Cool. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's old-timey titties. That's okay.
Yeah.
I can't believe
that's the one I found. That was,
if you're fat,
if you look further into that photo, you're going to see some weird shit.
What?
Cool. Let's do it.
What?
Yeah, like, zoom in on those animals.
What do we got?
Is that like a long-ass sheep?
Yeah, there's like sheep foxes.
What?
And like a goat with like ears that are like a rabbit, like hanging all the way down.
Yeah. Bunch of naked men building fire too. I like that.
Oh my God.
And then it looks like there's some conquistadors like fighting Native Americans in the back.
Oh My gosh.
So it's a wild picture.
Bizarre. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
But that, kind of symbolized the savageness of America when the colonizers were first coming over.
How crazy this
In their
wilderness
eyes.
was. Yeah, right. Yeah, from their perspective. Yeah.
Why an armadillo?
I know. I did like armadillos. I would think would be further west, but I guess they're
They're
Well, I
pretty
mean, if
far
they're
south.
conquistadors, they're coming up from Mexico.
I guess so. Yeah. Yeah. Thank God it wasn't northern. It would have been fucking raccoons.
I mean, there are wolves both north and south.
I know. We couldn't have picked something cool like a wolf. I'm with you. You're right. We had better options.
God damn. Anyway, go ahead, Jerry.
So England had this male personification called John Bull.
John Bull.
He was like a portly man. He wore a top hat and like a waistcoat with like the Union Jack flag on it.
Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
And he was like made by...
I like the naked Indian better.
Yeah, it's more interesting. He was made in 1712 by John Appleseed, who was a close friend of Jonathan Swift, who wrote The Modest Proposal.
Oh, yeah. Eat your children.
Yeah.
Wow. What?
Yeah.
Oh, you.
I'm not familiar with this.
So it was a critique of the rich, right?
Yeah.
And basically, it was a not serious but presented in serious fashion. It's like, oh, if you don't like the way things are going, since you're so high and mighty, I suggest that instead of starving to death, you eat your children.
Oh, okay. I've heard that before. Got it. Okay. Yeah.
And he goes into really kind of graphic detail about how they can do it too.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he gets into specifics.
Yeah,
Wow.
He's like, you can cook them, baste them, chop them up. I don't give a shit.
Oil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
I was just going to say that. Wonderful. Wonderful.
So from John Bull in the Americas, they evolved Brother Jonathan,
Brother Jonathan.
which is kind of like phase one of Uncle Sam.
Okay. Was that them trying to transplant the British guy over and replace?
Kind of.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
he started out as the British making fun of the Yankees for the way that they were, but eventually the Americans adopted it and kind of were like, yeah, this is our guy,
So we started owning it.
Yeah, we owned it up
Okay.
and then took it from them.
Yeah. Quite forcefully.
Yes.
I mean, that's the best way to take stuff from British people.
And he was like a tall, thin, clean-shaven guy. The
Okay.
top hat and the striped pants is where started with the striped pants.
Was he still heavy?
He was a little portly, but
Less portly.
Yeah.
I wonder why
He was not as portly as John Bull.
Sure.
Got it.
Interesting.
Okay. I'm liking this evolution so far. This is neat. I wasn't
that's
expecting
neat.
this. This is cool.
I wasn't
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming either. I thought
No.
it was just some guy that they made up.
Yeah, or it's some guy that put on a costume or volunteered or
Yeah.
did a thing. No,
Yeah.
this is
No, nice.
Yeah, Brother Jonathan ended up he stuck around for a while, but he started becoming unpopular during the Civil War when the South was sort of rebelling against the style that he was of like a Yankee gentleman.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
My how times change.
Now comes the legend of Uncle Sam.
Nice.
Ooh, okay.
He may have been based on Samuel Wilson, not the Falcon from Marvel.
Okay.
Not
yeah.
the
Sam.
Captain Falcon Winter Soldier America man.
Yeah, that guy.
I assume they probably named him after this guy, perhaps.
Doubt it.
Yeah.
Doubt it.
You don't
You
think
don't
so?
think so?
Yeah.
You're not giving him that much credit.
Well, first of all, listen, I'll give all the credit because Sam Wilson's an old character.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
not Disney
Yeah.
we're talking
That's
about.
what I mean,
But
yeah.
I doubt it.
Oh, gotcha.
Maybe.
Unless
So-
they always had the plan of making him like the Captain Falcon.
Well, no, they didn't. They definitely didn't plan on
okay.
that. But
Right.
Falcon was originally designed to kind of be like the perfect companion to Captain America.
Gotcha.
So now that I've said that, maybe.
Okay. Okay.
Sam Wilson was a meat packer from Troy, New York.
Okay. Gotcha.
Respectable.
Yeah.
He was actually childhood friends with John Chapman, Mr.
Johnny.
Appleseed.
Johnny Appleseed. That's right. I forgot you told me this before the show. They're
Oh.
friends.
And by the way, Johnny Appleseed died after Crockett. So he was alive for Crockett's entire life. He was born before him and died after him.
That's crazy.
So he would have been well aware of who he was.
Wow. So all of our guys probably knew each
All
other.
three of our guys at least knew of each other in some form or fashion.
It'd be cool if they like hung out like off the books.
Oh, yeah. Just like chilled in a pub.
There's every
somewhere.
chance that Johnny Appleseed and Davey Crockett could have crossed paths
Cool.
because they were both leading edge frontiers guys.
Right. Yeah. And probably in overlapping territories and stuff like that.
Probably.
Yeah.
Mark Twain and Tesla were friends. So.
No kidding.
Yeah.
What? I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, Mark Twain had like some bowel issues.
Okay.
So Tesla made this like vibrating stand for him to stand on, and
It helped.
think it did help him.
She'll call this shit down here.
Let's shake it out. Shake it out.
And every time I did it, I had to take a poop.
I do think he said it worked too well.
yeah, I bet it did.
That's great.
Yeah. So another thing about Sam Wilson is he was a drummer. He had,
Oh.
So he, he was a snare drummer.
Oh, for the Army. Or
Not necessarily, but that would be the primary. Like they weren't doing full drum sets.
right.
Yeah, this was before he was like 14.
Oh, I see. I see.
Yeah.
And on the night of Paul Revere's Midnight Ride,
What?
he awoke the local militia with his drums
Fuck yeah.
where he was at.
Oh my God.
That's cool.
Yes.
Good for him.
And then when he was 14, he joined up with the Continental Army.
Goddamn right.
Right.
I mean, it's a little young, but
Well, he
goddamn
was a
right.
butcher, so he didn't do the combat.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh, so
okay,
he
there we
worked
go.
in the food.
In the
Okay.
food.
Yeah.
Just like Davey.
Yeah. No kidding. I was just having that thought too. Wow.
After the war, he moved to Troy, New York, where he started his meat packing business.
Okay. Okay. He's sticking to the meat.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I mean, once you're good at it.
Yeah. Yeah. Stick to what you're good at. Yep.
Stick with meat.
Yep. Nurseries and meat.
I'm like a fucking vegetarian over there. Fucking weirdo.
He gained a reputation for being honest, generous, and fair. And so,
Oh my gosh.
Trait shared by all three. I think we found a common thread in our American.
We
tall
sure
tale.
did.
so
Yeah.
that's why people affectionately called him Uncle Sam.
Oh, wow. Because he was just so that the rapport and the trust was there. He was like one of the family to them.
Yes.
Ah.
He ended up getting a contract for the U.S. Army for meat so that,
He could like provide.
Boy, that was probably dollar signs in both eyes.
oh, yeah, because this was about the War of 1812. So that was a war between the United States and Britain over several things. But
Right.
Which is one that Davey fought in.
Yeah. Yep. And
So he was feeding them.
holy cow.
yeah. And he would mark the barrels like U.S. for United States so
Right.
that the barrels would be going to the Army.
To the right.
Uh huh.
But that was before people really called the U.S. the U.S. So no one really understood what the U.S. was for.
Oh, I never thought about that. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Huh.
And the legend goes that there were some inspectors like around, and they were like, "What's this U.S. thing? What's that about?" Because they didn't know.
Right.
And one of the workers there was like, "Oh, it's about Uncle Sam.
Oh.
That's because Uncle Sam owns this place."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was just like it's Uncle Sam.
Fucking cool.
That's how stories grow, man. That
That's
sort of stuff right there.
hilarious.
That is great.
Some
Just a
dipshit
big-
that didn't know his own fucking job.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Oh my gosh.
All right, Jerry, if UPS ever shows up at work, we are bound and determined to create some legendary story.
Yes.
Excellent.
Good. Do it.
So the U.S. soldiers would get that, and they had heard this story of Uncle Sam, from the inspectors and everything. So they referred
Fresh
to
delivery from Uncle Sam.
Yeah, they'd be like, "Oh, this is the bounty of Uncle Sam,"
Ah,
and it grew from there.
yes. I love so much that in his mind, he was doing it in the spirit of like, this is for the United States Army. And they're like, oh, this is for us from Uncle Sam. And already those two ideas begin to merge just right there in the,
In its conception.
yes.
Personification of a country that's taking care of you while you're
Yes.
fighting for it.
While the idea of that very country is being conceptualized.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I almost have tears in my eyes. I'd like, no joke. No, sweet.
Manifest destiny, baby.
Yeah.
It's cooking. It's cooking all the time.
It was. It was at that time anyway. We got a little flabby here recently.
Speaking of look, when he first started out being in political cartoons and stuff, he looked more like Brother Jonathan,
Okay. Yeah.
which was just sort of regular, just with his striped
Regular
legs and
guy.
stuff.
Yeah.
Eventually, he got red striped pants.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And during the 1860s, the Civil War era, that's when he started to look more like Lincoln.
Oh,
He
yes.
started to get those
Ah.
Lincoln-esque features.
Yeah, the vest, the top hat,
Got
maybe
it.
the beard,
Perhaps. Yeah.
the goatee,
The
not
goatee.
beard.
Yeah.
And he would be like more tall and thin
Yeah.
and with the high top hat.
Ha.
A guy named Thomas Nast was drawing cartoons of him. He drew one where he was like, since he had become the personification of America at the time, he drew a cartoon where he was like having dinner with a bunch of different like nations and cultures.
Uh-huh.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. But there were people that didn't like that. And they were like, what? No, that's no.
Of
And then
course.
They did
Yeah.
like another cartoon where Sam was like having dinner with all these people, but they were all being like selfish and like eating their own country's food and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's kind of like a rebellion
Criticizing.
against that.
A rebuttal.
Now, you guys probably know what he looks like, mostly from the I Want You poster, right?
Yeah.
Almost exclusively, yes.
That was made popular in World War II.
That was going to be my guess.
It started in 1916, the second year of World War One.
No shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
A guy named James Montgomery Flagg, I thought was appropriate.
Wow.
Holy crap.
Got recruited to make the poster.
Naturally.
Truly, this country is legend. It's just not like, so what kind of just synchronicity is that? My gosh.
It's based on a British poster of like a really similar like layout.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Of a guy going, Britain's Lord Kitchenell wants you.
Lord
Like
Kitchenell.
pointing, but he looks more like a mustached Mussolini kind of looking.
Oh my gosh.
Just a little different.
Before or after they got him?
Probably before.
I'd have bet it before.
Maybe.
It was probably a little messy after they got him.
Yeah. There's an Uncle Sam Day.
There is?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. In 1989, Congress recognized September 13th, which is Sam Wilson's birthday,
Oh, cool.
as Uncle Sam Day.
So that's like their way of officially giving him the title as, this is the
Nice.
guy.
I had a heck of a time trying to figure out how you celebrate Uncle Sam Day.
Oh, okay.
You aggressively point at people, duh.
You can do that. I do have a list.
Oh,
Ooh.
nice. All right.
Oh, wonderful.
Number one, you can hang posters that, of Uncle Sam.
Of Uncle Sam.
Okay, that tracks.
Number two, you can learn his history.
Which we're doing today.
So we'll make sure to retag this episode in September.
Nice. Good
September
thinking.
13th.
September 13th. Yes.
You can have a picnic or party and serve only American dishes.
Okay.
I mean, I just call that dinner.
Yeah, that's just food.
I was gonna say, just like burgers. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Steak, mashed potatoes,
Hot dogs. No.
hot dogs. Yeah, no, hot dog. Well,
German.
Yeah.
oh, they are German. Huh?
See, I was confused by that too, because
Yeah.
like a lot of our food is melting pot from other
Right.
cultures.
Yeah, a lot of it does come from Germany.
I'm claiming
Yeah.
cheeseburger and apple pie.
Yeah,
We can do that.
yeah.
I'm into that.
I think by now we've staked our claim enough through violence or otherwise.
Through violence, authority, and our expanding waistbands.
Don't have a cow.
You eat it.
Yeah. The fourth way is you teach others about Uncle Sam, which we're also doing.
Which we're also doing.
doing.
That. So
Yeah.
if you listen to it, you're learning and we're teaching. We're both fulfilling our celebration.
Yeah,
together.
together.
And my favorite of the ways that I found is to include an image of Uncle Sam on emails you send that day.
Oh, on emails you send. Interesting.
Answer.
Right on.
Pointed you.
Yeah. I want you
To
to check
CC.
your inbox. Yeah, to CC so-and-so. Yes. Oh, that's great.
I have a list of some of the mascots of other countries that I might.
I am interested.
yeah.
Let's
Just
do it.
It's a short list.
Okay.
No, that's
But
fine.
they're
yeah.
mostly European, but like the best thing you can do is go onto Google, type in your country's name, and then personification, and it's going to bring up images,
Oh, cool.
and they're really cool. Like
Listen, it's always good to acknowledge the little people.
God.
leprechauns.
No, the rest of the world that's not us.
He only gets like this time of year, guys, I swear.
The freedom in his bones. I already mentioned Britannia for Britain.
Yeah.
In Scotland, they have Caledonia.
Caledonia.
Yeah, she was cool.
Okay.
Ireland has Hibernia.
Hibernia.
Hibernia, that name kind of rings a bell.
France has Marianne. And you've probably seen Marianne before.
Oh, yeah?
She was a big symbol of like during the French Revolution.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So have you noticed that it's Uncle Sam surrounded by bitches?
That brings me to another point
Oh.
that I'll get on later.
Oh. Keep that thought.
Italy had Italia Torita.
Italia Torita. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a pretty name.
Germany had Germania.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Spain had Hispania.
España. Yeah. Okay. Very creative.
And
Yeah.
then the
We're
Nordic
very
countries, they were a couple of them had like Mother Denmark, Mother Sweden, like, but it was like in Nordic, so it was like Malta.
Yeah.
like,
Got
yeah.
Fluffenhofen.
yeah. So I thought those were cool. And I looking at these things, I was like, man, it would just be cool to have like an anime or something where all these characters like hang out and like
Yes.
do stuff.
Yes.
Like, war
Live
with
life.
each other, or like
Yeah, but I want to see
have
the.
spats.
I want to see the internet art that comes from that.
Oh, Lord.
a lot of them were they had like bare breasted like
Yeah.
they're pretty girls. These countries,
And,
These countries. These countries are hot.
and they're lining up to see Uncle Sam's flagpole. That's right. Come get it, ladies. Silver Fox over here.
I want you
That's right.
to take out the other boob.
I would watch that.
Sorry.
I'd salute the whole episode.
What the hell's wrong with me?
Yeah, I think that would be a great adaptation to see.
Yeah.
Really fun to
Anime,
watch.
too, is definitely a good medium for that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
agree with
It's
that
where I could
wholeheartedly.
see it working. Like,
Yes. Yeah. The ridiculousness that would
Mhm.
have to be. Yeah. Oh, that's great.
I want to see that Uncle Sam nosebleed.
Oh my God. The nosebleed. That's one of the dumbest things. It bothers me.
It does me too. I can't pretend like I understand
Yeah.
it. But I do know it's a thing.
They have a word for it.
I'd rather
I don't know
not.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
Well, is that it?
That is
Okay.
That was fucking
Cool.
I wasn't
Uncle
expecting
Sam.
that evolution. That was good.
Yeah, that was really neat. That was cool. Being able to you're like, okay, let's start here and work our way up. And it was cool seeing just the progression and the way that they're symbols, but they're still like people because we call them personifications.
Mm.
Yeah, no, that was really cool how we ended up at Uncle Sam. And he occurred earlier in history than I thought he would.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I
Definitely.
thought he was more
I
tied
ran
to the World
across
Wars.
A couple of sources that were confused about where he started.
Right.
And
Okay.
that's not uncommon, I'm sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They seemed to have like sort of mismatched information that they had just gleaned from maybe talking to their uncle or something.
Sure. Yeah. Maybe talking to their uncle. That was good. No. And one thing that I found fascinating about today's episode is we get to see the beginnings of each of these tales very specifically this time. I'm not sure that was really the case in the last episode.
The
nearly
last
as much.
one was more like the Tex Avery guy had,
Yeah.
because he
Oh,
noticed
yeah.
there was a hole
Yeah.
in American, and so he had kind of filled in that gap himself. These guys
Right.
were real people,
Right. And the story, like Johnny Appleseed, his tales, people were talking about.
and it seemed to be the same for all of us.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
were legends in their own time.
Exactly. Yeah. Legends in their own time, as well as like just this evolving personification of a country's, like, it's almost like Uncle Sam was like America forming its identity over the course of that.
Yes,
You know what I
and it
mean?
would change with the national
as
ideas.
we were
Right.
trying to find what that was.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I was very fascinated to find that like Davey Crockett's, a lot of his tales like originated from himself.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Like, I think that's really cool.
It's hard to beat firsthand source.
It really is.
Yep.
Yeah.
You would know.
Straight from the man himself. Yeah. So this is really neat. And, we kind of mentioned it earlier where it's like, I wonder what Johnny Appleseed will be in the future. So it's cool to see the beginning. And it's like, I wish I could live long enough to see these stories kind of like how they evolve into the future.
Yeah.
That's my one.
You either
kinda-
get to live to see the beginning or the end. You don't get both.
I know. Yeah.
Maybe we'll see a Johnny Appleseed character in 40K.
Oh, that would be neat. I wonder if
Wouldn't
there
even
is such a.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wouldn't even
It's like
begin.
some sort of terraforming
So probably,
guy.
probably not, because 40K is a UK product.
Oh, that's true. You're right. Yeah, that's a good point. So they probably wouldn't go there, but that would be neat. He'd just go planet to planet and,
Yep.
plant
Blessed by the
the-
Emperor, he can naturally just start.
yeah, just plant seeds and grow, environments or I like the idea of terraforming. Whoever said that, that was a good thought. Yeah. Yeah. So this has been a cool episode, guys. Holy crap.
Yep, I think that actually concludes our 4th of July episode.
Okay.
Guys, I want you to do me a favor. I fed you a lot of pro-America bullshit today. So I want you to do me a favor. If you live in a different country than the United States, you obviously don't celebrate the 4th of July. However, I want you to leave your nation's flag in our comment section, because there is a way that you guys can participate. The 4th of July it's celebrated because of independence and all that thing. Everybody knows that. But what it really is a celebration of national pride. And I don't think you should ever not have national pride. It is okay to be not proud with where your country is or headed. These things are fine, but try to keep in mind that your country is your past and future. So try to be proud of the future you could have or the past that you did have if you're not proud of the present you find yourself in. So do me a favor and send your flag so we know where you guys are from, and also to show that you do have pride in your country despite what flaws you may find in it at this current moment.
Wow. No, that's wonderful. I love that.
Yeah, I love that, Ben.
Yeah.
That was good.
But while doing that, also enjoy the view of America's taint down there, you fucking ingrates.
And there it is. So, yeah. Okay. So thank you guys so much for listening, and I hope you had as much fun as we did with this episode.
Oh yeah, this was a blast.
Yeah. If this is your first time listening, thank you very much for joining us and giving us your time. We really appreciate it. We have all sorts of other mythologies and lores that we cover. In particular, Warhammer. It's kind of our flagship of Cult of Lore. We cover a lot of Warhammer lore, but there's other things like we've got an episode.
Always branching out.
Yeah, definitely. We are not afraid to do so, and we do so as often as we can. And we are open to suggestions. If you guys have more tall tales that you want us to cover next year that we haven't covered yet, last year or this year, let us know. Leave them in the comments.
Or a 40K episode, or we're also branching out into foreign holidays.
Yep.
So if there's a specific tale or a specific holiday you'd like us to try to tackle, let us know.
So yeah, we're always open to suggestions. We have all sorts of stuff that we want to cover too. Jerry's got a great list that we're going to be working our way through.
Yep.
On and on we go.
Coming up next, I believe, is Sly Marbo.
Sly Marbo. Yes, finally. Ooh, my boy Sly. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Continuing on with the strong pro-American, although we'll switch to pro-Imperium.
Pro-Imperium, yeah. We'll be pro-Imperium at the time.
And then after that, I'm actually super excited because we're tackling the Pirates mythology.
Oh.
That'll be fun for the summer.
Yo-ho, you're right.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. That was going to be fun as hell.
Some pirate lore for you.
Yes. On second thought.
Shave his balls with a rusty razor. Shave his balls
with a rusty razor.
You don't do that?
No.
I like it against the grain. What are you talking about?
The rust, though. The rust.
That just makes it dangerous. It's thrilling.
Anyway, so if you like our brand of ridiculousness, not only do we have a ton of Cult of Lore shows for you to listen to, but there are other shows that are part of Cult Talk Net. You can check out our movie reviews of Bruce Campbell movies on the Cult of Campbell. It's more of a review of the grooviness of Bruce Campbell within those movies. Some of the movies aren't so great, but the Bruce can be good. Some of the Bruce can be not so great, and the movies are pretty good, or none of the above.
Have we had one where we're like, the movie's great, but Bruce sucks?
Actually,
I don't think
not.
we have.
Yeah, I don't know. If you guys listen and find one, then let us know.
If there's a motherfucker that knows that answer and we don't.
Yeah, I know. Poor showing, huh?
That's embarrassing.
Listen, we've done a lot of shows, a lot of episodes for, So, Cult of Campbell, loads of fun. We also have Cult Talks Conspiracy, which is our friends, also part of the cult, Ty and Bailey, who cover conspiracy theories. They talk about UFOs. They talk about cryptids. They get into some really cool shit, and they're a great show to listen to. We also have a short
American Pie Slices.
Yep, American Pie Slices. Yeah, so it's a mini series. It's a 6-part episode focused on one movie, covered by Michael, our editor, and Ty. It is a lot of fun, and they have some great cider recommendations. Johnny Appleseed would be happy if you check that out.
I don't think he'd like the movie, though.
He may not like the movie, no, but the cider recommendations, maybe. Yeah, in the spirit of Johnny. And then, of course, there's the Cult of Russell, which needs some momentum behind it, but we would be covering...
Start abusing Ty in the Cult of... Cult Talks Conspiracy comment section.
Yeah.
Just start abusing him in the comment section about not doing Cult of Russell. Get nasty. Don't get blocked, but I want you to, right before you go to bed, go, was that a good idea? I don't know.
Dear Lord. But yeah, and so we would cover Kurt Russell movies and probably rate I think the rating system is still groovy, not groovy for his performance. Am I missing anything? Oh, we have a whole channel dedicated to our Culttober, which is a month-long event in October where we cover horror movies and do all sorts of fun, crazy shit.
We're either gearing up to record that first episode or we've already done it.
Right. Yep. So, and you can listen to it year-round on our podcast feed there. And then in October, the bottom just falls out and we drop a shitload of fucking spookiness on you. So, yeah. Ben's got that haunted look in his eyes. It's coming. I know. I know. So, okay, that's all the plugs and stuff. Thank you guys so much for listening and liking and sharing and commenting and just in general listening. Like the fact that you stay and listen to us means the world to us. So that's all I got.
And I think that'll do it. Until next time for the algorithm, I'm Ben.
I'm Eric.
Let's go smile at some raccoons.